What's up, Saber fans? Ahch-To Sabers here again, coming at you with another Graflex demonstration video. This time we have a Flash Gun 8 from Roman Props. So I guess this would be the Force Awakens configuration. You've got your camp card, your glass eye, no Graflex writing on the clamp, and you've got your rivets in the grips. This has been fitted out with a Proffie 2.2 and NeoPixel configuration with a NeoPixel blade plug in here right now. It has a Goth 3D chassis with crystal chamber, accent LEDs, removable chassis. We'll get to all of that in a bit. Right now, let's just fire it up and dive in. You hear this is a Ray sound font. It's a blue blade. Of course, you've got the beautiful smooth swing from your Proffie 2.2. Behind this font we have a Ray theme tune. Okay, let's open this up and show you the chassis and the crystal chamber. So as you can see, you have this is a real quartz crystal we have in here in the Goth 3D night chassis, and accent LEDs in the base. See, these LEDs now pulse from cyan to blue when it's in off mode. We're moving on fonts to a Graflex 4 font. So this would be more of a Luke Skywalker and New Hope font. Here we have pulsing LED crystal, and when we fire it up, you see we have a kind of a winding up motion in our accent LEDs. Again, all of these beautiful smooth swing fonts. Your shine through glass eye shines through beautifully. We have the main theme behind this one. Okay, but let's get a blade in there and show you this thing really sparking up. So for this, this screw here is your blade retention. Not the glass eye. The glass eye actually holds in the chassis. We'll get to that in a little bit. But on other graphics I've done, the thumb screw here holds in the blade retention, which is very handy. You know, you can just screw with your hand. This one, I guess, because we have the glass eye, you're sacrificing a little bit of convenience. You do need a screwdriver to take in and out your blades. So it's just one full turn, really, very carefully, as to not scratch anything. And then pinch your bunny ears and it'll pop right out. And you'll see this is a NeoPixel blade plug. Yeah, but like I was saying, it is very convenient on the Empire Strikes Back. You can just release your blade with your thumb. This one, as I said, is a little bit more complicated, but you do have that beautiful shine through glass eye to compensate for your inconvenience, I guess you'd call it, for whipping out a screwdriver every time you need to shove in your blade. And there we go, blade in place. So we'll fire this up. Let me just spin around here to get more of a complete view. And I might shut off the lights a little bit so we can get a nice view of this crystal chamber in action too. There we go, beautiful. So as you can see, your real quartz crystal and your accent LEDs shine through beautifully. Moving on, fonts.
Your powers are weak, old man.
With Darth Vader with a flickering crystal, and the LEDs just kind of do a back and forward motion, and LEDs get faster as you turn on. Of course, Darth Vader has his Imperial March. All these fonts have all the blaster effects. Lock up, flash on clash, and you can see how the crystal mirrors the blade for the flash at least. So the Proffie controls are pretty standard. Hold down for 1 second to turn on your music when the blade is off. While the blade is on, you hold it down for force effects. So with Darth Vader, that's a kind of a, sounds like he's choking somebody out there.
I'll show you the dark side.
And we have Kylo Ren. Of course, fire blade. Again, you see the crystal. Unstable, mimicking the blade. So some of these fonts, when you use the force effects, when the blade is on, holding down for 1 second, some of them have dialogue. So if you hear Kylo Ren,
you know what I've come for.
is an example of this.
Ahsoka.
We have an Ahsoka Tano font. Beautiful, bright silver blade. Look at that. It's amazing. Ahsoka from the Rebels type of blade. Oh, I double clicked. If you double click, you do get silent turned on. So single click is your regular turn on. Music. Clone Wars. Obi-Wan with a blue blade. Beautiful blue blade. Cantina music. Pretty fun stuff.
It's treason.
Darth Sidious. Again, Darth Sidious, we have a wind up. We have a turbine effect on our accent LEDs over here. Music is from the end of episode 2. It's just I think it's a good Sidious moment from the end of episode 2 when he's looking out across his clone army for the first time. Oops.
Master Windu.
Okay, on to Master Windu. Of course, you have your purple blade. And your LEDs flickering back and forward, your purple crystal. I just put Duel of the Fates behind Master Windu. He's got some dialogue here too. So every time you press the force button, it randomizes. There's like 4 or 5 in there, it randomizes. Sometimes you get the same one every time.
I am going to end this once and for all. May the force be with us all. I am going to end this once and for all.
Come on, there's a new one there.
May the Force be with us all.
I know there's one more in here.
May the Force be with us all. I am going to end this once and for all.
No, he doesn't want to say it. I know there's one or two more in there.
What is thy bidding, my master?
This is a Force Unleashed font, which I found on a forum online. And it's not a smooth swing font, but it's from the Force Unleashed video game. And it's a fun little font, and just because there was so many different colors in that game, I just gave it a green fire blade with a red crystal and blue LEDs. But on ProffieBoard, you can actually change the color to whatever you want. So if you hold down the auxiliary and the hold down auxiliary and press the main button once till you hear that beep, and then twist the blade. Now watch the crystal changing, the accents change, the blade changes. If you twist the saber around, you can kind of change it to whatever color you want. And this goes with all fonts. So you can mess with whatever fonts you want, and when you reach the desired one, press the main button again, you'll hear that beep, and you're back. Also, I have on here volume control, which is hold down. I'm going to have the blade off for this one, it's much better. Hold down the auxiliary for 1 second. You hear that sound, and then tap the auxiliary to go down in 10% increments. Tap the main button to go up in 10% increments, and then hold down the auxiliary for 1 second again when you're done, and that will change your volume. Under here we have the music from the end of A New Hope. So as you can see, there's a lot of things you can do with this saber, a lot of customizing and a lot of fun to be had. Oh, I was still in volume mode. Okay, moving on. Now we're on to the factory fonts. These are the fonts that come from the Proffie website, from Frederick's website. And these just have some kind of, I just left these on there because they have some kind of fun blades. I don't know if that comes out on camera. It's like a rainbow blade. Yeah, let's see, it's a rainbow blade flowing down. You also see the rainbow effect going on in the crystal chamber and the LEDs. Behind this I have some execute order 66 music. And this is a strobe. Kind of a strobe effect on this. On the smooth fuzz. This is a gradient blade. Again, this might be hard to see on camera, but it goes from blue gradients into pink and down to kind of a purple. And again, this is a really fun blade to change the color with, because if you twist it around, if you look on the, you'll see it reflecting on the mat there. As you twist it around, the color flows down the blade. There we go. You can see the pink on camera now. And you're just twisting around. And again, whenever you're happy with what you got, press the button. And save state is enabled on this saber, so whatever you color you choose in the font will save. So, what music do we have here? I think this is just some of the factory music on the Frederick's website, fonts. And this is your battery. This is a font that I use on most of my sabers. I just think it's pretty fun because this is actually a battery level. So on the blade, it shows how much battery you have. So right now we're just over half full. When you select this font, I have Darth Sidious shouting unlimited power. I just think it's kind of fun to have that. And then the music is the Mandalorian theme tune. I see Baby Yoda is getting excited to hear Mando's on his way. But yeah, what else? So I also want to show you the removable chassis aspects of this saber. Let me switch some light back on. And I'll remove this blade because this chassis is 100% removable for accessing your ProffieBoard. There goes our blade. So this is pretty easy to take on and off. You just open your clamp, slide it on, and you just line up these slots with each other. In it goes, and a twist. Close your clamp, and that's it. That's your saber. So now we want to have a look at our removable chassis inside this saber. So again, open up, gentle twist, gentle pull, nothing too crazy, and leave your clamp open this time, and even slide out your clamp card, place it to one side. So to get this chassis out, it is being held in place with your glass eye. So just screw out your glass eye. All of this is hand screwable and very gently done. You don't want to damage anything. Put that over to one side, and then that's it. You just grab your chassis down here, just give it a really gentle little shake side to side, and let it pull all the way out very, very gently. You don't want to pull or rip anything. You know, you don't want to just yank it straight out. You just want to like ease it out very gently, and that is it. That is your chassis. So like I was saying, this is your kill key. So turn on, turn off. You remove, this is also your, this is your charge port, your 2.1mm recharge port. Excuse me, this is where you recharge the saber. But when this is, excuse me, when this is in place, one way will kill the saber and the other way will activate the saber. So right now we turned off on the Darth Vader font because save state is enabled. It will turn back on in the Darth Vader font. Having this chassis out of your saber, you can mess around with it too. You can press your little button here just to mess around while it's out. Everything still works the same because you have your little tactile switch here and your little slide switch here. So everything works the same when it's out of the chassis because this is the core of the saber. You know, you have your speaker, your crystal, your LEDs, your recharge port is in here. You plug in right here, and under here is your ProffieBoard. So to access your ProffieBoard, you open up your little door and you just pop this right off. This pops onto the brass rods that are here. So it just clicks on. It's very sturdy when it's on, it won't go anywhere. You have to click it off. And there is your ProffieBoard. That was me pressing the tactile. And Darth Vader coming on again. Let me just switch it off. Let me grab a USB cable and show you really quickly how easy it is to plug into this saber. For this you need a straight USB cable like this. Is that going to focus? Yeah. And once your door is open and your cover is off, you just go straight in. And that's it. You're plugged in. You now have access to code your Proffie. And this saber, the SD card is also removable. You can see it right there. Maybe try and shine a light on it. You can see it right there. And you can grab that with the tweezers pretty easily. Or if you don't want to bother with that, you can load the fonts through the USB cable. There is a way that you can access the SD card that way too, only it's a lot slower. It's very, very slow, especially if you're putting a lot of fonts on there. It takes forever. So me personally, I do remove it with the tweezers and just pop it into my computer because it's like so much faster. And that is pretty much it.
What?
Your Vader font.
I'll show you the dark side.
So with save state enabled, actually something interesting happens on every font, because if save state is not enabled, once you turn this off, it will come back on to the very first font, which in this is Ray. But now that save state is enabled, when you turn on and off the kill key, not only does it save your volume and your blade color, it also switches back on the font you switched off the saber on with the kill key. And when you switch it back on, you'll find that a lot of these fonts have some extra boot sounds. That's Kylo Ren.
Ahsoka.
So Ahsoka, that's a good example. Ahsoka has some great boot fonts, which you wouldn't hear unless you have your save state enabled. So let's switch it on.
Anakin Skywalker was weak. I destroyed him.
Then I will avenge his death.
There's some dialogue from Rebels.
Anakin.
And again, there's 3 or 4 of them here, but again, it's randomly selected, so it might play the same one
Anakin.
again and again and again.
Revenge is not the Jedi way.
I am no Jedi.
Anakin.
Yep.
It was
There
foretold
we go, one more.
that you would be here. Our long-awaited meeting has come at last.
And you're on your Ahsoka Tano Rebels font.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I think Obi-Wan's got some pretty cool ones too.
I felt a great disturbance in the Force. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Obi-Wan. Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time. These aren't the droids. Hello there.
Okay.
It's treason, then.
What does Sidious have any? I'm not even sure.
Darth
Oh,
Sidious.
okay. Maybe he does.
Darth.
Does he only have one? He's got more. Okay. So that is it. Let me just pop this back in to show you. I will turn off the kill key now. So popping this back in is also pretty simple, but also be very, very careful. The tactile switch obviously lines up with your red button. So you want to line them up by eye when going in. And also ensure that your slide switch is pushed all the way up. Even like keep your finger on it. And insert very gently, very slow. Actually, I didn't put back on my cover. Click back on my cover first. And there we go. So slide it in very gently. And again, give it a little wiggle all the way up. And there it goes. And that is all the way in. To ensure it, then you'll just line up your glass eye hole here and pop in your glass eye. Sometimes it might be a little tricky doing this, in which case you just screw off your main switch and just gently lift it and push it to one side. You don't want to let it pop out of the beer tab, and you don't want to scratch anything. If you're having trouble, you can see that popping up there, and you can just wiggle it all the way in. Then turn around to your glass eye, make sure your glass eye is lined up, screw it in, and you're good. Then screw back in your main switch, and I let it follow with the beer tab, which is not what I wanted, but it can happen sometimes. And then just screw back in your main switch. When screwing back in the main switch, I always screw anti-clockwise with pushing down for a turn or two until I hear that kind of a click, you know what I mean, until it gets into the thread. And there it is. Because the last thing you want to do is cross thread these. So screw it kind of backwards and you'll feel it click. I have to look at what I'm doing. I'm looking at the camera. You've got to, there we go. if you know what I mean. You screw it backwards while applying pressure down, and you'll feel it click into the thread, and then screw it forwards. Because the last thing you want to do, you don't ever want to force these and cross thread anything in these sabers. Because if you cross thread this, I think the button is pretty much done for, and the threads in the saber maybe too. So that is it. Oh,
Time.
we've got another Sidious font. That is the saber. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. And thank you for watching. May the force be with you.